All right, welcome to APUSH Chapter 10, Part 3. Continuing on after the corrupt bargain and the election of 1824, where John Quincy Adams was elected president. We're moving to the 1828 election. Jackson and his Jacksonians, as they were known, they're back with a vengeance, and they certainly. John Quincy Adams isn't all that interested. He doesn't really run for presidency. He just says, if my people want me, they'll elect me. Well, they don't, so he's not elected. So Jackson comes back, and Jacksonians are now calling themselves Democrats, or the party of democracy, if you will. Their message is one that is an egalitarian message. That we're all pretty much the same. We're not going to put some people up on a pedestal above all others. Jackson himself is popular with New England artisans who like the fact that he doesn't really care for the tariffs too much. Remember, that helps him out. He's very popular in the South and West, though. That's really where he gets most of his support from. There was huge voter turnout in this election. They felt that it was a very important one, and the people showed up at the polls. And, he wins pretty much a landslide. But there were those who were worried, especially in the upper ranks, that were worried about Jackson's very short fuse. He was a man that had a quick temper, incredibly tough guy. This is not one of those fake tough guys. This is a really tough guy. His presidency is a two-term president. He had 8 years. He makes a significant impact on American history. One of the reasons he's a guy that's on the $20 bill, at least for a little bit longer. Obviously, they voted him off, and we'll kind of talk about the reasons why Jackson will be removed from the 20. Well, remember that Jackson is a guy who believes in patronage. So he comes in, he's going to fire all these people he don't like. He's going to surround himself with people who believe the way he does. But even then, instead of relying on the president's actual cabinet, he relies on an informal cabinet called the kitchen cabinet. That's what people dub it. And these are his buddies. They meet in the kitchen of the White House and they discuss important things because he trusts them. For Jackson, trust is everything. He doesn't play the game of the politics very well. He is, as you will see, he's going to be accused of being a tyrant and called King Andrew I. And we'll kind of get into whether or not he deserved that or not. His priority, probably as much as anything, was to destroy the American system. He did not believe in it, forcing Southerners to either buy more expensive Northern goods or buy what is now expensive British goods because there's been a tariff placed on them. He doesn't believe in that. So he's not a big fan of the American system. He was a student of Jefferson. Of the Jeffersonian school, meaning that he believed in state power, that state power should be supreme. But with Andrew Jackson, you're going to see that he is like this walking paradox. He's going to believe in state power, but he's going to come down and be like, my way or the highway. And so he will contradict himself quite a bit, as you'll see. There was a crisis in 1832, so coming up towards his second election, and it had to do with them reviving the Tariff of Abominations. It brings back South Carolina is furious with it. They call a state convention. And at this state convention in South Carolina, and you'll see that South Carolina is kind of always the troublemaker, if you will. At this convention, South Carolina gets this grand idea that they can say that any law made by the federal government can be declared null and void if they find it unconstitutional. Jackson doesn't like that because while he believes in state power, he doesn't like people questioning his authority. So he basically says, no, that's not how it works. And if you don't like it, I'll send troops in there and we'll deal with it that way. So needless to say, the theory of nullification goes away very quickly. He shows the power of the presidency without a doubt. Understand also that one of the things that Jackson is obsessed with is destroying the Bank of the United States, destroying the bus. He doesn't believe in it. He thinks it's illegal. He believes that state banks should be the ones running the show. And a lot of people agree with him. They feared the Bank of the United States. They feared that it could force local banks to close. And if these local banks closed, then these people would be without their money. So there was definitely a lot of fear. And also the president of the bus was a man named Biddle. He was grossly arrogant and said that he had more power than any of the presidents before him. So we'll hit into this just a little bit more in part 4.